I'm Lisa Capallo. Welcome to Where's Wilmington. Today I have the pleasure of talking to Bob Anderson. He is the park interpreter, is that correct?
Correct.
For Harold Parker State Forest. What does a park interpreter do?
A park interpreter basically is in charge of development, program development, and carrying the programs through so that people visiting the park will have some organized programs to participate in and that type of thing. We do a lot of recreation there, like fishing, hiking, biking, canoeing. All those programs are free to the public, and that's pretty much what an interpreter does. Leads those hikes and bike rides and canoe programs.
Well, you sound so busy, so I want to thank you first off for taking the time to sit with us and tell us about what you do. So how does one become a park interpreter? What do you have to go through, ranger training or something like that?
I went through certified interpretive training for the National Association of Interpreters, and pretty much that's the training that you go through. And then DCR, which is the Department of Conservation and Recreation, they put me through training every year to keep up with the training, so that we're abreast of what's going on in that world and stuff. And
okay, what kind of things do you have to know to be a park interpreter? Or give us an overview of what a day looks like for you, because it's actually quite a broad scope.
Right. Well, for the park that I'm at, Harold Parker State Forest, I bring recreation to that park. So I've been involved in recreation all my life, so I know about the fishing. When I go in the morning, sometimes I'm doing a fishing program, or I'm teaching canoeing, or I'm teaching bike riding, how to fix a flat, that type of thing.
Wow.
So there's a lot that goes into a program. It's not just jumping on the bike and we're going for a ride.
Right.
We're going to try to add something to that, and then finish with the ride. And the ride could be 6 miles long through the forest. And so there's every day is different. We go through the schedule. I lay out the monthly schedule and put that on the website, and that's there for the public to come and enjoy. Now we provide, like for the fishing programs, all of the fishing reels and rods, the bait, all of that is provided. The canoe program, we provide the canoes, the life jackets, all of that. So
wow, and that's all free to the public.
That's all free to the public.
That's really amazing. Where else can you find that in today's economy, really?
It really is.
And how many people are on staff at Harold Parker other than yourself?
Right now there's about 12 people on staff.
Wow.
Yeah.
Wow. So do these programs run different times of the year? I know you said earlier we were talking Harold Parker is open all year, but the winter is somewhat more quiet than the summer, right?
It is. The park interpreters, they're seasonal. My job is a seasonal job. I'm there from May through September. And then in the winter, last winter, I volunteered and led a hike every Wednesday through the winter. But we're not on staff through.
Right.
It's just there's only 2 permanent staff members, the superintendent and another worker that's there all year.
Okay. And you said you actually do some snowshoeing in the winter.
We do snowshoeing when the snow is there.
Right. No problem with that last year.
Cross-country skiing. So we do that, and we do the winter hikes and nature walks and stuff.
Excellent. So. Can you give me a little bit of an overview of the parameters of the park? I bet you folks would be surprised to know how large it actually is.
The park is...
And it's covered by several towns, not just Andover and North Andover.
There's 4 towns, Andover, North Reading, and Middleton. It borders on those 4 towns. It's 3,500 acres.
Wow.
Quite large. It has 11 ponds, 9 of which are man-made by the CCC, the Civilian Conservation Corps, back in the 1930s. And there's only 2 natural ponds in the forest, which are kettle ponds.
Meaning?
From the glaciers 12,000 years ago. Like Silver Lake here in Wilmington, that's a kettle pond.
Okay.
And we have 2 of those, Berry Pond and Bear Pond, and those are the 2 natural ponds. We have probably around 35 to 40 miles of trails through there. Yeah, so it's quite extensive.
Now, I understand you were doing a project where you were actually marking all the trails too, right? Working on marking all the trails.
We are. They're in the process of doing that now.
And what does that entail?
Well, last year they had a gentleman from DC. I was out there walking the whole forest and with a GPS, and gotten all the coordinates of all the intersections, all the brook crossings, and all of that. And then they produced new maps. And then this year they'll be coming out with the signs, the markings. They're actually number markings at all of the intersections. So when someone is walking in the forest and they look at the map, they'll see the number corresponding with the number where they are, they'll know exactly where they are on the map, and they'll know exactly where they are in the forest. So
which is really important.
it'll be a big help. Yeah.
Do you think that'll make your job easier in the long run? Do you have people that get lost?
Yeah, not too often though. It's
Right.
not that bad really. You're always going to end up, where it borders on all those towns. You're always going to end up on a road, so it's nothing really to be fearful. I wouldn't say, I would welcome the public to come there, even though they're not familiar with the forest, because they're not going to get lost. They'll end up on a road eventually. It's not like going to the White Mountains or anything. Even though it is 3,500 acres, it's not really that. You would be fine, going there without knowing any
That's
part
good to
of it
know.
or anything.
And I would imagine, is a lot of that acreage water more so than land?
No, it's mostly land.
Really?
It's not. Yeah, the ponds are small. They're not very large ponds. The largest pond is Field Pond, which is most people are familiar with.
Are all of these ponds able to be swum in, if that's the correct terminology?
Yeah. Well, they're not, because they're not staffed, and the water's not tested, although it is clean.
Right.
Those ponds do have inlets and spillways so that they're constantly flowing, except for right now where the water is low. We're very dry right now. But
Even with all the rain we've
time,
recently had, I'm
yeah,
surprised.
it's just very dry. It really
Wow.
is. There's a high fire alert and that type of thing because of we're lacking rain. You can see the lawns that are all burnt and stuff.
Right.
But the water is clean. To get back to your question about the swimming, there's only one designated swimming area in the forest now, and that's at the campground. That's Fry Pond, and that's for campers only. We did have Berry Pond, which is one of the ponds was a day use center 2 years ago. In light of the state budget and stuff, we couldn't staff it and maintain it, so they had to close that for the season, and it was closed again this season. So we're hoping that maybe next season it will be,
Right.
The economy will improve and we'll be able to open that back up to the public again.
Right. So you bring up an interesting point. It's completely state funded. Obviously, it says state
is.
forest right on
Yes,
it. That's
yes.
really nice that it's one of the programs that has continued to flourish with, with so many
Yeah.
things being cut. What do you attribute that to? Do you think it's from the public outcry to keep it open? Is it from you and your colleagues pushing for that?
It's usage too. The people use that forest. The public comes and they're there, on a daily basis. Not just camping, but they're there attending my programs and stuff. And they see the value of that. And the state sees the value of that as well. So that's really important that we continue to have this. Harold Parker State Forest, when that was initially developed back, Harold Parker was named after Harold Parker, was the first forest commissioner for the state of Massachusetts, and he had this vision of preserving the land and stuff, and he was able to buy up 2,500 acres back in 1914 and through 1916, and during that time he got 2,500 acres, and it was pretty much wasteland at that time. It was
Really?
it wasn't a forest. It was grazing land and for agriculture and stuff, and that people had moved west during that textile, when the textile industry came in, and the agriculture kind of moved west, and that land became kind of barren and stuff. So he ended up buying it for like $5 an acre.
Wow.
And the land, he died unexpectedly in 1916, so the land kind of sat until I think it was around in the mid-1930s when President Roosevelt started that Civilian Conservation Corps, and they come in and developed that into a forest. They planted the trees, they dug the ponds, they made the fire roads and all of that, and really developed it into a forest. Those trees now that you see in there today are only 75 years old. So it's not an old growth forest. We don't have any really old growth forests left.
What a fascinating history.
It is.
And that's nice that Harold Parker did that for
Yes,
us.
and he was a special guy, and so were the guys, that worked in the CCC program to develop that into what it is today. And it's important that we maintain that and keep that, and we're the stewards of that today, and we want to pass that on to future generations so that it's really important. That's what this program, I'm hoping to get across to the public, is that we want to come out and use this forest and maintain it for our kids, and their generations to come and stuff, so that this is a really important thing for our culture.
And you bring up an extra interesting point about maintenance. What does it take to maintain the park? It must be a tremendous amount of work.
It is. It's a lot of work.
I can't even imagine the things that you would need to do.
Yeah, I mean, it's just the constant, you know, trees, you know, will figure your yard and stuff, you know, what it takes to maintain your yard and stuff. Well, it's the same thing in a forest, just on a much larger scale. And especially when you're dealing with the campground, you know, you have 4 comfort stations with bathrooms and showers and fields to mow and campsites to clean. Every time someone leaves, it's like a hotel, so you have to go in and clean up the hotel, clean up the campsite, the ashes. You have to empty the fire pits and all that. So it's a constant thing.
Now, is your staff doing those things, or do you have volunteers also?
No, that's all staff.
We got to get you some volunteers, I think.
I know. Well,
that's a lot of work for 12 people.
It's a lot of work, and they do a fantastic job. We've had so many comments through the years now that, you know, how clean the bathrooms are and how clean the forest is, you know, very little litter, and it's, you know, it shows well respected, you know, for the people that use it too. If they come and, you know, it's great. But the work is we've got a super crew there.
Excellent. About how many visitors do you estimate that you get in a season, do you think?
Jeez.
Just give me a guess.
Thousands.
Really?
Yeah. Oh yeah, thousands of people.
That's good, but we still want more, right?
We still want more. We do. It's a big place.
All right.
And,
what we're going to do at this point is we're going to take our break, and when we come back, we're going to talk about some of the really fascinating programs that you have, so folks will come out and utilize that. We're also going to look at some pictures of the park so that you folks who may not have been there in a while or haven't ever been at all can get a real feel visually for what that's all about. So stay right with us. Bob will be back with more of Where's Wilmington right after this.
May I have your attention, please? With the owner of the spare tire, slightly hairy, with a little brown mole to the left of the belly button. It's an innie. Please report to the press box and retrieve your appendage. Oh, they must have lost this parking further away from the stadium and walking in. Okay, we're back to the action.
Hi there, welcome back for the second half of Where's Wilmington. I have Bob Anderson from Harold Parker State Forest. He's the interpreter there and pretty much the go-to guy for anything Harold Parker. First part of our program, we were talking about the history of Harold Parker a little bit and a little bit about what folks can see when they go there. But now we're really going to give them a treat and take a look at some pictures. And as we do that, Bob, if you could narrate for me what we're looking at, and we'll look at each picture and you can tell us a little bit about what's going on there.
Yeah.
All right, so let's see our first shot. Well, obviously, that's pretty obvious.
This is one of the entrance signs to Harold Parker State Forest. Yeah.
That's nice.
Yeah, and this is one of the beautiful ponds.
Wow.
We have 11 ponds there. This one, I believe, may be Field Pond, coming off of, by the State Police Barracks off of 125.
That's so picturesque.
It's a beautiful pond, as is all the ponds there, really.
Did you take these pictures yourself?
I did. I took these myself,
nice.
Yeah.
Do you know what season that was?
Jeez, I don't know. I'm there all the time, so
yeah,
I don't
it looked
know.
like
And I take
fallish
so
to
many
me.
pictures.
I don't know.
And now this right here is, this was at our fishing festival, and this is the Park Passport Program. DCR has this program where they have little passports, and the kids can take those to all the different state parks throughout the state of Massachusetts, and they'll get a stamp. And it's just like a passport, and it encourages families to get out to different different state forests and different parks, and even the urban parks in Boston, the islands and stuff.
So that's kind of nice for the kids to have something,
it is.
to get a stamp in there and to move forward.
Today I probably stamped about 10 of those today.
Excellent.
Yeah.
Excellent. One of your staff members in the picture
there?
It
is. That's actually Barbara Bull. She is the Northeast Regional Coordinator for the interpreters. She's actually my boss, actually.
Excellent. What's next?
Yeah.
Oh.
This is, I believe they're all coming for a fishing clinic here. This is at the Nature Center in the campground, and this is a typical Saturday morning, either a Saturday or a Thursday. I do the fishing clinics on Thursdays and Saturdays. So that is people showing up for the fishing clinic, I believe.
And you had said that all of the bait, the rods, the reels,
we supply all of the, it's encouraged for them to bring their own, but I do. I have all the rods, reels, baits, hooks, bobbers, all of that stuff.
Now, do you bait the hooks for people too?
If they like, I usually end up baiting them. I usually do.
I would like that.
And I provide the worms too. And
lovely.
And what I do is I give a class first on how to set up the rod and the reel, you know, how to tie the hook on with the line, and we go through all the ethics of fishing and the rules and all of that, and then we go have the fun, and we go down to the pond and fish for a couple hours.
Nice. So it's fun education.
It's fun education. All of our things are the activities that we do. It's all based around fun.
Excellent. Let's see what we have next.
Yeah. And again, this is, I believe, fishing.
Nice. So it looks like you've got a lot of families, a lot of young kids.
I
see a few girls in the other
picture.
Yeah,
no, there's plenty of,
so you got
plenty of young girls come and fish too as well, just as well as the boys,
Excellent. Let's see what we have up next.
You know, it's this, I should say that, you know, one of the warmest feelings, this is like just an incredible feeling to see the mom in the background watching her son catch his first fish. It's just, I see that every day. I'm blessed to have this job. And it's just, the smile on their faces is just incredible. You know, this is just so moving for the parent and the child as well. So I would encourage, you know, if you have young children, to bring them out to a fishing program. It's one of the best things you could do for them.
What kind of fish is that?
That there, I believe it was a pumpkin seed.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay, more fishing. This looks like a rainy day, maybe.
This actually was last September. This is at Sudden Pond, one of the other ponds, and this was our fishing festival. Every year we do a fishing festival in September, the second weekend of September, and this will be the 23rd year that we've been doing it there at Harold Parker State Forest. And it's a big event. We cook hot dogs, and we have a big campfire going. We give prizes. Mass Wildlife comes in. Wildlife comes in with some volunteers for this as well. We usually, this is well attended. We have probably over 100 kids at this.
Excellent. Yeah. And all this information that we're talking about can be gotten from the website, which we're going to put up on the screen for folks too.
Yeah.
Let's see what's up next.
Yeah. This is some prizes that we're giving out at the fishing festival. We do raffles, and everyone goes home with the prize.
Nice. That's nice. What kinds of prizes do you give?
Well, we give all different fishing rods and reels, Zebco. There's different companies that that donate a lot of the things. REI donates stuff. There's a lot of different companies that provide some of the prizes that we give.
Excellent.
Yeah.
What else have we got coming up? Oh, the biking program.
Biking program. This is every Friday. I started this back about 3 years ago, and it's a great ride through the forest. We usually take a different route every week, and it averages around 6 to 7 miles, and 2-hour program. And usually I'll start the program off with a little maintenance tips or how to change a flat, something like that. I have a lot of repeat people that come to this, so sometimes if there's no newcomers, we'll just end up taking off and going for a bike ride. Some days I could have as many as 20 or 25 people on this bike ride. Yeah.
And I see everybody has helmets. Do you folks provide those? Or
I do. I have extra helmets. If people show up, they don't have a helmet. All of the people that attend my program have to wear a helmet. So I have those helmets available to them. And if someone's in need of a helmet, you know, if there's a child that's in need of a helmet, I'll give them a helmet to take home.
Excellent.
So
coming up next, the canoes.
This is the canoe program that I started a couple years ago, and we have 8 canoes that I borrow from Stoneham, from DCR in Stoneham, and I go and pick those up, and I give a class on how to paddle a canoe and the safety of canoes and going out on the water, and then we go out and we take a 2-hour paddle, usually around Stearns Pond, which is behind the headquarters in the forest. And this is a well-attended program that's booked up well in advance. I have to do pre-registration for this program because it's just I get mobbed with people.
Right. And are you having a canoe drive currently? Are you attempting to get some from folks?
We started a canoe drive a couple years ago. Last year we started the Friends of the Forest group, and we've got that going up and going. And actually today I received my first canoe donation today. So if you've got a canoe out in your yard and it's not being used, we could use it over at Harold Parker State Forest, and you know, because it would be put to good use with teaching kids how to go out and have some safe fun on a pond and stuff, and it would, you know, if it's not being used and just sitting in your yard, we can really put it to good use.
All right, let's see what's up next. Oh, look at this.
Okay, this is inside the Nature Center. You can see all the fishing rods up there on the ceiling, and discovery packs. Those packs that you see down on the floor there, those are different packs like ponding, bird watching. There's all different, those are discovery packs. So you can come over to Harold Parker and with your children, take one of those packs and go down to our activities field and take all of the, you know, the stuff that's in there out, and there's all kinds of fun stuff to do within one of those backpacks.
Excellent.
So, and again, that's just free. You can just come over there and do that.
It's really amazing. What's coming up next? Oh, wow.
This here is over by the old Soapstone Quarry and the Jenkins Mill site. It's a glacial erratic that was, you know, left there. This is this big boulder, it's huge, that was left there 12,000 years ago when the glaciers, you know, receded. When the ice receded, this was one of the erratics that was left there. It's a rock that's called an erratic because it's out of place. It probably came from, who knows, you know, up in Maine or Canada or someplace, and when it came with the ice. This is the entrance to the campground here, and you can see this is a bicycle camper. We have a lot of bike campers that come out of the city. Right. And this is the campground with the tent here.
Nice.
We have 90 sites there.
Wow.
And 4 comfort stations with hot and cold showers, large activity field with
so if you want to feel like you're getting away, but you're right in your own backyard, that's a great place to be.
It's absolutely solitude, you know.
Oh.
This was Smokey Bear birthday party last year. He turned 60.
Wow.
And we had that at Harold Parker State Forest. Well attended. Again, we had hay rides and
nice.
All kinds of stuff was going on that day. That was a phenomenal day, really. The kids had a blast. This here was last year. I went and had the seniors. This is a nursing home that I went to and asked them if they'd like to come out and have a picnic. And what we did was we cooked for them, and this is the Blair House in Tewksbury, actually.
Right.
And I had them come over. They bussed them over, and we had games for them, and just for a day for them to come out and just enjoy the forest. Wow. It was really, really good.
That's really nice that you were able to do that.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness!
This here is a snake program. A couple weeks ago, we put this on. This was the Cape Ann Vernal Pool team. Vernal Pond team, and they put on this snake program, which they brought in not only the 14 snakes of Massachusetts that are native to Massachusetts, but also an additional 30 snakes. They brought in close to 50 snakes. It was quite a program they put on, and you can see the kids. They actually let them hold all the snakes and stuff. It was great.
That's neat.
It was a lot of fun. Yeah. And these are the types of programs that we do over there at Harold Parker. So, and they're open to the public and free to the public.
So now I see this is your winter hike,
This is the winter hiking. Every Wednesday, I led a hike all winter over there, and we'd go to I have a series of 12 hikes that would go to a different part of the forest every Wednesday, 2-hour hike, and you can see the young children that came along on those too. They were bundled up, and it's just a great time. You know, it's a lot of fun to get out there even in the middle of the winter. It's just, you spend a couple hours in the forest and you go home and you feel really good. It just has that effect on people.
Peacefulness,
you know? It is. It's a very peaceful.
Do we have any other pictures to look at? Was that the last one, do you think?
I think that might be it.
Excellent. That was amazing. You really do a lot over there.
We do.
Any other programs that are coming up that we should know about that we want to cover in the last minute or so that we have today?
We do. Coming up August 7th and 8th, we have the Beginner Family Camping Weekend, which is co-sponsored with DCR and Mass Wildlife. And what it is it's a program over it. They've chosen Harold Parker State Forest for this, which is a great honor. And it's an introduction to families who have never been camping before, and they can register online, and we'll provide the tents and all of that. We're going to give cooking classes, how to cook on a fire, archery classes. We'll do canoeing, hiking.
Soup to nuts.
Soup to nuts, the whole thing. And so that it's an effort to get family reconnected with nature and get them out there and enjoying nature.
You know what I think too? I think it's good to learn to do it the quote right way.
Exactly,
you know, because I think so many of us want to go try camping and we figure we'll just get a pop-up.
Right.
But if you really don't know what you're doing, it's probably not going to be as enjoyable as it could be
Right.
if you had a few extra tips.
Yeah, and we're there to help. You
Excellent.
know?
Anything final you'd like our viewers to know before we close today?
I guess I would just like to say that I'd welcome everyone, you know, in our community. Here I live in Wilmington, so you know, I'd welcome everyone to come and stop by the Nature Center and come in and enjoy it, you know. Spend a day there. I'd be more than happy to take you around and show you around and stuff. And if you have kids, bring them over, because it's a great way to spend a day.
Wonderful.
And,
excellent.
And thank you.
Thank you, Bob, for being with us. And I
Thank you for
appreciate
having
the
me.
work that you and your staff are doing. It's really great to see someone taking care of our forests for us.
Well, it's an
I
honor for me,
appreciate
really,
that.
to work in this capacity. Really.
It's wonderful that you feel that way. Just reminding you that you're watching Where's Wilmington here on WCTV. I'm Lisa Capala. I want to thank you for watching and tell you that if the next time someone asks you where's Wilmington, you tell them right here and right here on WCTV. And we'll see you next time.